What about the thousands and millions of burglar alarms that exist in people's homes already? How are they not getting activated simultaneously?
This is a man that can travel around the world like that.
Yeah.
He's able to circumvent a simple burglar alarm.
Plus, is he actually burglarizing? No, he's actually leaving things in the home.
It's reverse burglarizing.
He is household fly tipping, if anything.
Hello! Welcome to Believe, the Conspiracy Theory Podcast. I'm Phil Green.
And I'm David Ferguson.
And this is our first ever Christmas special!
Ho, 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 ho!
It's also our season finale. Yes, season 2 is over, but it's been a wonderful season, hasn't it?
It's been amazing. I've grown as a person. You have grown as a person. It's been brilliant.
I mean, not physically. In fact, if anything, you've lost weight and I haven't gained any height. But we've grown metaphorically, haven't we?
Grown spiritually.
We've learned so much.
We have.
We've learned so much. This is our season finale, but do not worry because we are going to be back early in the new year with a brand new season and some very exciting announcements.
Yes, which we're not going to tell you about now because we want you to follow us on all our social media.
Which are?
Our social media is on TikTok, Instagram and YouTube, and our handle is Believe Conspiracy Pod. We'd love for you to follow us.
Yes, it's where we put up exclusive content about the conspiracies we've been talking about, and it's also where we're going to be posting up content about some of the stuff that's going to be coming up next year, and we would love you to follow us, to keep in touch with that, and also let us know what you think about the stuff we've already been talking about. Like it, comment on it, tell us what your opinion is. We want to know that, don't we?
We really, really do, because this is a community, this is a conversation. We want to know what you think.
Yes.
And we're very excited about that. You can get in contact with us via email at believeconspiracypod@gmail.com.
Yes, it's where you can let us know what conspiracies or other stuff you want us to cover. Let us know. Send us an email. Tell us. We'll put it on our list. We'll find someone that wants to cover it, and we will fulfill your dream of having the knowledge that you need to get through your life.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. But if you are going to miss us between now and next season, do not worry because we are going to be doing some live dates, both with our stand-up shows and also with this very podcast. I'm going to be doing previews of my new show. I will be in Islington in London on the 10th of January. I will be in Southampton on the 16th of January, and I will be in Camden on the 25th of January. And then on the 5th of February, both David and I will be doing previews of our latest stand-up shows at Aces and Eights in Tufnell Park. So if you want to get tickets to any of those, whether it's my show, our shows, whatever, go into the show notes of any of our episodes, or indeed there's a link in the bio of any of our social media channels. Click on that, you will find a link there, and we would love to see you there. We'll give you a big old hug, tell us you listen to the podcast, you'll be seated on a throne, you'll get very special treatment. We will love you forever, won't we?
We will, because it's wonderful that you're part of this. Like, we're very excited about that. We're also going up to the Leicester Comedy Festival.
Indeed.
And that's on the 7th and 8th of February, and that's just before my birthday. Let that information do what it does. We'll be in the Globe. It's a great venue, and Phil will be doing his preview. I will be doing my preview, and then together we will be doing the Believe Conspiracy Pod as a live show.
That's right. We will be having a fantastic guest on. We're going to be having some fantastic conspiracies, no doubt, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Leicester is a great comedy festival. If you live in that area, do come along. It's a lot of fun, and the Globe is a wonderful venue, isn't it?
Oh, yes. We just love it. It's a great time.
Absolutely. Now, if you do enjoy this podcast and you'd like to give us a little boost or a little Christmas treat, you could go onto Apple, you could go onto Spotify, you could go onto Amazon, and you could just give us a little 5 stars. That's all we ask. It's free. It's free. But the gift means so much to us, doesn't it?
Yes, and it's the time of goodwill towards podcasters.
That's right.
Even the bad boys of podcasting.
Even the bad boys of podcasting. So the saying goes, deserve a little 5 stars. So please, that can be your Christmas gift to us. We'll love you forever.
We will.
Now, George is here.
King George himself.
Sitting on his throne. He's looking amazing. And who is today's fabulous guest?
Oh, it's the fantastic Steph Aritone.
The fantastic Steph Aritone. Steph is a BBC New Comedy Award finalist. She has also been in the final of Roast Battle UK, both in 2023 and 2022. She's been seen on Next Up's Access Festival. She's also the host of the Comedy Wine List podcast and an MC at South Kensington Comedy Club in London. She's a wonderful MC. She's a wonderful comedian. She's a wonderful podcaster. We're very lucky to have her. We're very excited that she's coming on here.
Oh, very much so.
Yes. And what is the conspiracy that we're talking about today?
Phil, is it a conspiracy if it's actually a lie?
Well, it could be the biggest one of all.
Apparently, Santa doesn't exist.
Santa doesn't exist?
Santa doesn't exist. Right, say it's a lie. It's a lie. We concluded. It's over.
Santa doesn't exist?
Santa doesn't exist.
let's bring on Steph.
Get out of the rabbit hole.
It's a fake. Every single bird in the sky is a robot.
It's fiction.
Doubt your government.
It's an urban legend.
Like, if they're actually spraying something in the sky?
No way.
A stream of absurdity.
It's a total fabrication.
Welcome to the podcast, Steph Aritone! Yay!
So much energy.
So much energy, Steph. Christmas energy.
That's true.
Yes.
It is upon us.
It is
again.
upon us.
Yeah.
Excited?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah?
It's only just hitting me that it's happening because I've been forced to wear this hat today
Yeah.
by by one of you.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I'm looking forward to it. I am
At least you get to leave after this. George is locked in here.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas elf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He will be spending Christmas in the studio alone, so you get to be free. Think about
Can't tell
that.
if this
We're
is a
leaving
joke.
him a candle.
Yeah, we do live in Canada, that's true. Yeah,
Because it's Christmas.
yeah, we're light and warmth. We do give him that.
Have you three done like a Secret Santa yet, or is that?
No.
We won't be doing.
I wrote Christmas cards for everybody and left them at home. So
Do you do Secret Santa?
We've done an office one,
Okay.
but I'm like new to the office, so I'm like, here's a notepad.
That I stole from stationery.
Pretty
supplies.
much, yeah.
Okay, good. When does Christmas hit you? Does it hit you in December? Does it hit you at all? Does it hit you in November?
It's got to be Christmas Eve for me because my mum is from Poland and we celebrate it hard. We get like fish dishes in, pickled herring. That's Christmas to me.
Yeah.
Sounds gross, doesn't it?
no pickled
No,
herring
not at all, not at all.
is a thing because I grew up in Northern Ireland. There's a Polish community in Northern Ireland, so the Christmas herring is a thing. I don't know if it's still a thing now, but certainly when I was a kid, I always remember my granny getting pickled herrings.
Oh my God.
I love them.
They're amazing. I think like the Irish and Polish community, there's like a synergy there already. There's like lots
Definitely.
of potatoes.
We love alcohol.
Alcohol, yes.
Yeah.
My boyfriend's Irish, so yeah.
Yeah,
Can
it's the same
confirm.
thing, really.
Yeah, basically
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Matriarchal society.
And heavy food.
Heavy. Everything's beige. Everything's designed to get you through the winter.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's quite good for you as well.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
a lie we tell ourselves every day.
Oh, but there's nothing like a good stew or,
Irish stew.
Irish stew. Oh,
What's in an Irish stew, Dave?
whatever you can get. Like you can make it beef, you can make it with lamb. My father's vegetarian, so I grew up with vegetarian Irish stew. Irish. I want Irish stew now. I'm so sorry. I'm desperate for that now.
We'll do that after this.
Oh my God.
We won't do that after this.
No.
Good. How do you feel about conspiracy theories, Steph?
I am not a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
I'm guessing a lot of your listeners would be, though.
Well, it's interesting because I think early on, yes. And then they realised we didn't take it as seriously as they'd like us to take it. So we kind of lost them. And now we just have people who are interested, which is fine. That's kind of fine.
Can I just say, I do take it seriously. It's you people that want to believe in lies.
Yes. It is often the guest that brings it down, Steph. So we're glad to have somebody who's serious, who is
Matter of fact.
very
but
matter of fact.
You would argue with me as that my matter of factness is the lie that the government has shown me.
Wake up, sheeple.
Is that a quote that you use every single podcast episode?
No, but I want to make it so. I want a
That's your
t-shirt that
tagline.
wake up, sheeple.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're all sheep.
I suspect that's trademarked by.
Do you know? I think it is actually.
Yeah.
No trademarking. I spelt it differently.
Yeah, fine.
I mean, I'm saying it.
SSH, the Polish way.
Yeah,
Sheeple.
sheeple.
So not big into conspiracies.
No, not massively, because I think like even if they are true and they exist, like the world is still turning and we're still all alive, touch
Wow.
wood. So
Is
you
it
know.
turning?
Well, it is, because every 10 years there's a new conspiracy theory and it's always like, oh, what was that like philosopher years ago that predicted that the world would end in 2000 and whenever it was?
Nostradamus?
Yeah,
Yep.
still here,
Still here.
you know?
Well, on the end of the world, the idea that the world finished in 2012. Has anything been right since 2012?
Yeah.
Are we just in the
Metaphorically.
matrix?
Metaphorically.
Well, exactly.
They just plugged us all in. We're just AI bots.
I could believe that. Have you met some people?
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So it ended then
Yeah.
when we're just all living in a
Yeah,
simulation.
the world
a
ended.
really
in-
shit simulation, though. Like, you'd think they would have improved things if they were going to create a simulation.
Well, I love The Matrix, Kel Surprise, and I saw it again recently because I watch it anytime it's on the Prince Charles Cinema, which is a cinema in London that I love, and they talk about how the perfect simulation no one bought into it. So Paradise didn't work. They had to make it gritty and horrible and terrible. And I kind of see that's why the world is what it is.
Because it was too perfect.
Too perfect, so no one bought into it. But a horrible world that they had to struggle in, that's the matrix that works.
And I believe that human beings like have a tendency towards like entropy and chaos, and they want drama. That's why entertainment is all chaotic, and it'd just be boring if it was all happy-go-lucky all the time, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You need like an argument with your mum to be programmed into the system, I think.
Yeah. You need struggle.
Yeah.
You need conspiracies.
You need conspiracies.
Back to the...
Have you ever met a conspiracy theorist apart from David?
I don't think so, I don't think so. If I have, they've buried themselves very well, because I kind of deal with data in my day-to-day, so there's not much room for conspiracy theorists when I like have to prove with numbers what a hypothesis is. So
You did cold, hard facts.
yeah, pretty much. But data can lead you down the wrong path sometimes.
That's true.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell the whole picture.
Exactly. That's why you have to talk to people, even the mad ones. Sorry,
Yes.
David.
Yes. Which is disappointing, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's fun. Like sometimes I'll just let them entertain me. I'll be like, oh, look at them. So happy in their own little world.
Yeah, you believe that. Go on, you.
Screw it.
Yeah.
If it makes them happy, then so what? That's what I think.
So, this conspiracy theory, Santa doesn't exist. It's quite an old conspiracy theory.
Okay.
And we strayed away from this one because it's extremely controversial, Steph. But we think now you're the right person, because you're dealing cold hard facts, to tackle this one. So, Santa Claus or Father Christmas, the jovial man clad in red who delivers presents to well-behaved children on Christmas Eve, is a cherished figure in many cultures. While his story inspires joy and wonder, there is a theory often embraced by older children and skeptics that Santa Claus does not exist. This theory challenges the logic, logistics, and historical roots of the Santa Claus myth. Analysing these elements, they suggest, reveals that the legend of Santa is a cultural construct rather than a literal reality.
Okay. Are we going to get lots of 8-year-old children listening to this podcast?
That's our main audience.
You're trying to
Yeah.
open up the demographic.
Do you remember believing in Santa Claus?
I'm a really weird person to have on this one.
Okay.
Because I don't remember a time in my life where I genuinely believed the concept of Santa Claus as it is told in the verse. I was going to say Bible, but no, wrong.
Definitely not in the Bible.
Okay. No, because my mum is obviously Eastern European, so I think, I don't know, maybe they celebrate it differently in Poland, but she would buy a gift, wrap it up immediately, and stick it under the tree. So there was no big reveal. It was just like throughout December, more and more presents would accumulate. I would see her putting it under the tree. There was no like, from Santa, any of that. It was just my mum buying the gifts and me going, okay, cool.
So you're saying Santa never visited your childhood home?
He didn't, no.
What did you do, Steph?
I mean, I knew he existed in the outside world,
Yeah.
and like as a kind of
'Cause he does.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
He's my bestie. I ring him up every December. You know, yo Santa, what you doing?
Did you ever write to him?
I think I did once.
Okay.
Maybe he was like the big Santa, like the big gift giver of the year, but then I didn't tend to get much big stuff. The only like one item that he did get me, he got completely wrong. So I know.
That's kind of passive aggressive.
I know, man. What did I do? Maybe I was really
Did you
bad.
put enough detail in the letter?
To the extent, like I named the brand. It was, what I wanted was a Polly Pocket.
Okay.
Oh, which
It's a
one?
Tiny little, I can't remember because I never got it. So cut up, like a tiny, you know, the little
I
small,
love Polly
they were so
Pocket.
dainty.
A lot of trauma
Was it
coming out
90s
here.
or noughties Polly Pocket?
It would have been noughties, probably.
Noughties.
Or maybe just on the cusp.
You know, you are young enough to be noughties. God damn it.
Well, yeah, that would have been where I started remembering things. And I got to a bigger box on the day. I unwrapped it, and inside this box was a Sally locket.
Oh.
Not the
Locket's-
same thing.
Sally Lockett's not bad, though.
Not for an 8-year-old child.
Yeah, it has
whose
to be the thing.
expectation is small, tiny, and dainty, and Sally Locket is like a big old box.
It's not.
I wonder if this is a naughty list scenario, though.
Yeah.
What had you done that year?
Yeah. I think in arson.
I was
Human
a very
trafficking.
good child. I was a very, well, I human trafficked. Yeah, human trafficked Polly Pockets into the country.
And Santa does not like human trafficking.
No,
He's
that's
very
fair.
anti that.
He is a good man. I was a very good child. Spent my whole life just trying to get good grades. So I can't imagine that I would have done anything that bad. But maybe that is childhood suppression, and it's fine.
I think you've suppressed something there, because it's not that
It's a therapy
even that he has listened. He's deliberately bought you something that is a variation of the thing you wanted.
And it's a fact that brand was obviously less desirable and therefore cheaper.
Yeah.
So he had swindled me out of a good few pounds there, I think.
mean, I understand what it's like not to get what you asked Santa for at Christmas, because I never got the Barbies that I asked for in detail, ever. Although I did get a Ken doll one year, so Super Sport Ken, of which I now have about 8 copies.
You did look out into the distance there longingly.
Oh yeah, the reason I am an adult collector, because we're talking about Barbies, the reason I'm an adult collector is because that was the one thing I was forbidden as a kid.
That makes sense.
So this is my warning to everybody: if you've got a kid asking for a toy over and over again, just give it to them, so they're not up at 3 o'clock in the morning on eBay trying to win an auction, because it's a sad life. I got to be real; it's a sad life. But I love my dolls anyway.
Yeah.
My little plastic people.
And they may not end up doing podcasts about conspiracy theories in their 40s. So just remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could go really wrong.
Yeah. So,
There you go.
logistical impossibilities. The first argument against the existence of the Santa Claus is rooted in the physical and logistical impossibilities of his purported activities. According to the myth, Santa visits millions of homes worldwide in a single night, delivering presents to every child on the nice list. Scientists and engineers have pointed out the implausibility of such a feat. For example, if Santa were to visit 1.6 billion children across 200 million homes, assuming an average of 8 children per household, he would need to travel at speeds far exceeding the speed of light to complete his rounds in one night. Additionally, the idea of a sleigh carrying enough presents for billions of children defies the laws of physics. The weight of the gift alone would render the sleigh immovable, not to mention the lack of aerodynamic efficiency required for flight. Reindeer, even magical ones, could not realistically pull such a load. I don't know how they quantify that, though, because how do you quantify how magical a reindeer is?
You see, my thinking on this is they're just not thinking in 4-dimensional, 5th-dimensional physics.
No.
It clearly steps out of time, and that's how he does it. You know, it's Christmas is a magical time of the year, and that's why they say that. It's because time stops and it gets distorted. So so traveling at the speed of light, don't need to do that, because we go into stepping out of the dimension. You know, they go in. Santa goes into a higher dimension, or like it's he physics bends to his will. You know, and you can because he's a Christian saint, Saint Nicholas, or just because he's a very cool dude.
Steph, do you buy into any of the so-called skeptical science?
No, I hear the science.
Yeah.
But I think I read another kind of strain of this conspiracy theory whereby, is Santa a person or is he a conglomerate or a company? By which I mean, Amazon, for example, that's in everyone's homes, delivering at rapid speed, thousands and billions of people at the same time. So maybe Santa is Jeff Bezos. Who knows? Is that the guy?
Well, the many faces of Santa, all the different aspects of it. There's many ideas of faith that cover that. So I quite like the idea of the many faces of Santa, and I can see that. I can see that.
Do we think Santa is an entity?
I think he's Amazon.
You
That
think he's
evil
Amazon?
corporation.
No,
I went as far as to pen my own pun. Christmas time, mistletoe and prime.
Wow.
I've peaked.
You peaked.
I've absolutely peaked. There's
But
no more jokes.
The irony is you could probably earn a bit of money from that.
Damn it.
Beautiful.
Dave's joke of the fringe. Let's
Yeah. Let's take it top 10.
Bezos, get in touch. Steph, we'd like to use that.
Oh my God, imagine.
But the character of Santa has changed and evolved. So like in the Victorian era, he was in the UK and in Great Britain, he was Father Christmas. That was his name. It wasn't Santa Claus, and he was the Lord of Misrule, and it was more about spreading joviality. And if you go in parts of Europe, it's there's Christmas Man in Germany. I've forgotten what the German name. Weihnachtsmann.
Klaus. Yeah, I've got it in here somewhere. Yeah.
But there's just different aspects. It's different iterations. So, it's all under the umbrella of Santa. And
I like that because we use like the news and the internet and all these like digitized things to spread emotion throughout the whole globe, and that can like happen within a second. Like you'll learn all at once about one thing. So maybe Santa is not actually giving physical gifts; he's giving a feeling.
Joy.
Exactly.
Does that make up for not getting a Polly Pocket?
Never.
No, never.
That crushing disappointment I will feel for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes this podcast is a therapy session. I feel like you'll need an additional session after this, Steph.
I think basically this podcast is a way of hinting at my parents. Christmas is 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Do Polly Pockets still exist? I don't know.
Yeah.
There must
Oh,
be
yeah.
one in existence on eBay. It would make me such a happy little girl.
Polly Pocket still exists.
Still haven't received one.
Do you remember anything else about the Polly Pocket?
Literally, I think my mind has suppressed the memory of what it's even meant to look like because the trauma was so high. I am such
Take
a pesky
note,
kid.
Mrs. Aritone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah. So absence of empirical evidence. Another pillar of the theory is the absence of verifiable evidence for Santa's existence. In an age of smartphones, webcams, and advanced surveillance, no credible footage or recordings of Santa's nocturnal activities have ever been produced. Sounds a little bit more saucy, doesn't it? Children's accounts of seeing Santa are often attributed to dreams, imagination, or misidentifications. Similarly, parents and guardians typically admit to playing the role of Santa by purchasing and wrapping gifts, which explains the appearance of presents under the tree. Your mum very overt in this behaviour.
Yes.
Yeah. Moreover, NORAD's annual Santa tracker, while delightful and entertaining, is thought by some to be a light-hearted Christmas tradition rather than genuine effort to locate a real individual.
NORAD, the Defense Network, are just going to do something nice.
Yes.
No, they're tracking a possible invader. Come on,
They're tracking them.
it's right there in front of you. They literally
He's
can see
going
him.
into people's homes. You would want to keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
You would, but what about the thousands and millions of burglar alarms that exist in people's homes already? How are they not getting activated simultaneously?
This is a man that can travel around the world like that.
Yeah.
He's able to circumvent a simple burglar alarm.
Plus, is he actually burglarizing? No, he's actually leaving things in the home.
It's reverse burglarizing.
He is household fly tipping, if anything, leaving things that people don't want, like Sally Lockett, just in other people's homes.
I'm not sure the Sally Lockett came from him.
Where did it come from, Phil?
Well, okay. I don't know your mum, Steph. But I feel like it wasn't the best year of your relationship if that happened.
She has maintained to this day that it was Santa's fault. So
Really? So she blames the big guy.
she blames the big guy.
Even though
she
you've
blames the
seen it.
man.
Okay.
I just want, what did you do as a child?
Yeah, it's got to be a naughty
Do
listener.
you know what? I might have to
You've blocked
phone
it out.
her on the podcast, although I don't think you get signal here.
No, we're
Not in this
you know,
bunker.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is
Sorry.
This is practically a nuclear bunker.
That's good.
But phone her
Feel
after
safe.
this in tears.
I will.
Okay.
It all got dredged up, mother.
So
I was
we-
fine.
What did I do?
So we don't think there's any way NORAD would be tracking Santa's movement if he wasn't real.
Be serious. Come on.
What would be the point of the software?
Right. No, it's they're serious. It's military men, and they're not at their homes for Christmas. They're not doing anybody any favors.
Yep.
No, it's for real. Also, can I just point out? I remember seeing Santa's footprints in my living room. He came down the chimney. It was the year we got a chimney with a fire, and there was ash on the floor, and my mother wouldn't, like, she hates vacuuming, so why would you do that? Also, the cookies, we used to leave out cookies and milk for Santa, and they were eaten. And also, can I just point out, in Northern Ireland, we leave out a carrot for the reindeer, and the reindeer, there was just the head of the carrot the next day.
Okay. Yeah.
So something at the carrot.
Yeah. I mean, the evidence is stacking up here.
Of Quite.
You know,
Yes.
Did
and-
you? What kind of snow was it? Was it like?
No, it was ash. It was ash from coming down the chimney.
Had your mother specifically built the chimney in the house, or was it a new house that you moved to?
No. It was the house that we lived in. But one year it was a very in vogue thing. Everyone got their fireplace fitted. Also, my dad worked with wood, so it was a way of getting rid of a lot of the wood. I mean, that's a genuine thing.
Fair enough.
You know, and it was pressure treated with stuff to stop it from rotting. You know, and it used to stink. It was so horrible. But yeah, that's anytime if you go into like a timber yard and you smell that pressure treatment, I just think of my dad. So anyway, I'm oversharing now. So.
Did you have a chimney growing up?
I think by the time my childhood rolled around, there was a real big theme in houses of blockading up your chimney.
See, this could be where the problem lies.
Oh, was he stuck in there with the Polly Pocket?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Is it in my walls?
We see also Santa has a magic key. So it's like not everywhere has chimneys. You know, chimney is just one of the ways he gets in. That was the year that Santa came to the place in the chimney.
Yeah, because this was another question I had, right? Is he like opening windows? Is he a magic entity who can teleport himself inside loads of homes at the same time? And how is he hiding all of this food?
He just has a very fast metabolism.
Yeah, extremely fast.
Fair enough. If you're like running that fast from home to home, I guess you're going through a lot of calories anyway.
You know, you could be a big guy but still quite fit.
That's true.
Fitness is deceptive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And you have to
trying
also
think.
remember he trains all year for this stuff.
Yeah.
He does.
And that sort of adds credence to my idea that he sort of steps out of time to do this. He goes into like the fifth dimension or whatever. So like he's going to need to eat on the go because time for him is different.
Yeah.
So like that's why it's so good to feed him. You know, that's why while the reindeers. At the
Do
parrots.
we think that mince pies and brandy are like the best calorific, dense food to give? Because when
Brandy's
I did the
very
marathon
warming.
once,
Yeah.
I did that Lucozade sports gel.
Uh-huh.
Should he not be left some of those instead?
Well, I dare say there's enough variety. You know, like there was a name brand biscuit that we always left for Santa.
We're not allowed to say brand
I
names.
know I feel weird. There are other biscuits, but I always associate that brand, which I would never eat now because I'm not a kid anymore. Says the Barbie doll collector. With Santa. But.
There you go. Okay, so what food would be the best? Brandy is warming.
Brandy's warming.
Yes,
Mince pie, quite sugar fueled.
true.
There's a lot of energy required for this job. And by the end, you would be running on adrenaline.
So like nuts, really. That's like the
Nuts,
best
yeah.
calorie dense
Yeah.
food. He's maybe allergic.
I think he can defy that though. You know, like we're talking about someone who's defying the laws of physics. So, but
Is he
maybe
just an all-knowing entity then? Like, shouldn't he be promoted to
for one
Who's gonna
night of the
promote him?
year?
him?
Gives himself. See, that. Then he may well be Jeff Bezos
There you go.
if he's able to promote himself.
Holding all of the world's currency
Yeah.
in
Well-
one
well-
hand.
Well, one of the interesting sort of arguments against Santa Claus is it's a representation of Satan. Santa's very, very close to the name Satan. There's a movie coming out with Jack Black called Dear Santa, and it's about a kid writing who spells the name wrong, writing to Satan for Christmas. So like there is this idea, this red clad figure is actually to take away from the divinity of Christ and all that. And I'm going, no, it's not easy. It's Saint Nicholas. Have fun, you know. I defy that. But yes, there's definitely the movement that it's. I grew up in Northern Ireland, lots of religious nut jobs, and there was plenty of people that were like, no, Santa's terrible. The celebration of Christmas was considered terrible in some traditions, but I was not one of those ones.
Well, not everyone celebrates Christmas as well.
No,
so
no.
where's Santa at in those homes?
Well, you know, it gets brick there, you know. But
I think he does have to be written to. That is part of the deal.
Is that why I didn't get the Polly Pocket?
oh, there you go.
That was the 1 year
Yeah.
that I didn't.
Maybe type it next time. Just email.
I'll just put it in ChatGPT.
Yeah. That's what we do. Historical and cultural origin. So Santa Claus has a complex origin rooted in history and folklore, further supporting the argument against his literal existence. The character of Santa Claus is derived from St. Nicholas, a 4th century Christian bishop known for his generosity. Over time, this historical figure merged with various cultural influences, including the Dutch traditions of Sinterklaas, is that how you meant? And Germanic folklore involving magical gift givers. In the 19th century, the modern image of Santa Claus was popularized through literature. particularly Clement Clark Moore's poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, and Thomas Nast illustrations. Coca-Cola advertisements in the 20th century further cemented the image of the rotund, red-suited Santa we recognise today. These developments highlight Santa as a symbolic figure shaped by societal values rather than living, breathing entity.
Okay. Has his outfit changed throughout history then? Because
Yes.
Coca-Cola made it red.
Yes. Coca-Cola made it red. I think he had a similar outfit for a while prior to that, but it was green, I think.
There was great. I mean, Santa Claus, Father Christmas definitely wore a red outfit at times, but the sort of idea, if you know the Muppets Christmas Carol, which is my Christmas, you've got
Greatest film ever made.
Oh, it's so good. And Michael Caine is just fantastic in it. But you see the big happy spirit of Christmas present. That's kind of what Father Christmas looked like then.
Yeah.
He's just had different clothes. I remember as a kid being very against Father Christmas having any green on him, but it's also he's based on Saint Nicholas, who was a bishop, and so it's the bishop's robes. It's variations on that.
So is it fair to say that Santa did once exist as a human entity, Saint Nicholas?
Yes.
But that dude is now dead.
No, he just transmogrified.
Sorry, what was that
He
word?
transmogrified.
Is that a word?
He became something else. Yes.
Okay.
Although George was telling me before the podcast, the Norwegians have just discovered a sarcophagus. Is that the thing with the turkey?
Oh, this is Saint Nicholas's tomb. Yeah.
Yeah. So they think they found the body of St. Nicholas, which is very coincidental considering it's Christmas.
What are they trying to sell?
Yeah.
Are they trying to make it a
That's
tourist
What
destination
was
again?
behind it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
You know.
It's all marketing, isn't it? The change of costume, the rebranding.
Yep.
It's all
All of our
commercialised.
fashion senses evolve over time, Steph. We don't all wear the same thing we did centuries ago.
But you should. We should all be in burlap sacks. Okay.
I can barely wear wool. You know, it was meant to be funny, ugly Christmas sweatshirts, and I couldn't wear one.
Yeah, well, I couldn't find an ugly one, so I wore this one.
Yeah, you actually look really dapper.
Thank you.
You know.
Yeah, Steph said the same on the way in.
Oh.
Psychological
No, I didn't.
perspective. Psychologically, the belief in Santa Claus serves a developmental purpose for children. Santa symbolises wonder, kindness, and the magic of giving. The eventual realisation that Santa is a myth is often a rite of passage, helping children transition from concrete to abstract thinking. This realisation teaches critical thinking as they question the feasibility of Santa's activities and discover the truth through logic and observation.
Critical thinking or lying.
Bah humbug to you both.
Hey, I still haven't made up my mind.
Yeah.
I'm waiting
Still on
on
the fence here.
the arguments. Yeah, forever.
If
on the
anything,
fence.
this might be winning Steph round from a cynical starting position.
But otherwise, I'm going to have to argue with my mum, and I don't want to do that.
No,
so I think
I
Santa is real.
There.
Good.
Yes, and you're correct.
Yeah. This is one of the easiest persuasions we've ever had, really, isn't it?
I don't even know what we're discussing.
We're not even
Such
halfway
is
through.
my conflict avoidance with my own family that I would rather take
Hey,
the
it's
easy way
Christmas.
out.
You don't want that.
Exactly.
Well,
Keep it easy.
I've got Monopoly for arguments. I don't need Santa.
I cannot play Monopoly because of the arguments. Cannot. Also, it's just a mythical thing, me owning property. So
It's quite revealing of people's personalities from Monopoly, isn't it?
I've seen the worst of people I love with Monopoly, so I do not play it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know Rob Dan, right? A fellow
Oh yes, I
comedian.
know. Yes.
He played Monopoly once with me and my boyfriend, and he was like gaming us off against each other at one point. He was like, "If you give me 20, I won't sell her this house." It was amazing. It was a true mastery of the game. I
Yeah,
never
you
seen
got
anything
to
like it.
hustle.
Yeah.
Hustle every day.
Everyone's got a skill.
But Monopoly, is that useful?
No.
There you go.
No.
I feel like David's about to disagree.
No, I don't. I don't like Monopoly. I don't really like board games.
Hungry hippos?
Funny enough, I do like Hungry Hippos, and I really like Scrabble. But that's because I like wordplay, and I'm really good at it. Mm-hmm. You know,
Facts. I hate board games, and it's probably like another Christmas tradition because clearly as a young child, I used to play them a lot with my dad. Shout out to Mario.
Yeah.
And obviously he is an adult at this point and he's always winning these board games, but he
I
was
hope
always...
he was an adult at that point.
Imagine. No, he's a time-traveling man who delivers Christmas presents and can change age, okay? He is Santa. But he
You heard
used
it
to
here
gloat. He used to
Santa.
Saint Mario. Oh,
So Mario.
okay. We're not doing the Super Mario reference.
If Mario came down your chimney, you'd know about it. Like, there's no way he's.
He'd level up.
Yeah, he'd level up. Yeah, he
Mario.
would.
There'd be a mushroom under the Christmas
Yeah, there
tree.
would.
But he used to gloat when he won board games, and so I have again a trauma response to board games. I can't play them.
I sports board games, don't like it.
Okay.
Don't like it. I'm with you, Steph.
Okay, it's basically what we lose in life, we veer away from later on. No, fair.
Mm-hmm.
Did you lose anything, Phil, when you were a kid?
Loads of stuff. I was mostly a loser, but I won't lie to you,
And
Steph.
that's why we do comedy.
That's exactly why we're here.
It's all childhood trauma.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So debunking the theory, quantum physics. Some scientifically uninformed individuals find reasons to doubt the existence of Santa. One of the most common reasons given for this is, on the face of it, fairly convincing. How, people ask, could anybody deliver all those presents in one night without being seen or heard? Little do these doubters realise, however, that the science has long known the answer to Santa's apparently superhuman courier skills. It's simple quantum physics. We already know a lot about how Santa would need to travel on Christmas Eve to get the presents to every child who expects them. Assuming he has the good sense to travel east to west, we know not just his direction, but his speed. 8 hours of nighttime spread over 24 time zones gives 31 hours to complete the job. From census data, we can estimate the number of children he has to get to around 850 million. That gives Santa a minimum speed of around 300,000 kilometers per second. According to science author Roger Highfield, which is pretty fast, actually it's incredibly fast. At more than 6,000 times the speed of sound, Santa will be slammed back in his sleigh by forces more than 17,000 times stronger than gravity. And as for the reindeer, well, according to one calculation, at those speeds, the friction from the atmosphere would vaporize them in less than 1/200th of a second, taking out more than 214,000 reindeer before the night's work was complete. That sounds pretty grim and hardly festive. Luckily, though, those figures contradict the facts on record. So clearly, classical mechanics doesn't hold the answer. But quantum mechanics, Steph, everything falls into place.
Well, I feel like the theory is a little bit self-aware in the whole vaporizing of the reindeer. Because isn't one of them called Comet?
Yeah,
And that's exactly what it would look like flying through the air.
that's true.
Boom!
Nicely done. Write that one down, Steph.
Yeah. Let's sell the crap out of that
I
joke.
can tell you're like, yeah, that's
And
it.
It's all
not,
Christmas cracker jokes
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, and it's not always reindeer, because when he goes to Australia, it changes over to kangaroo.
Does it actually?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's summer in Australia, so like Santa changes his whole outfit and everything.
Are they called the same names?
No, it's different. It's the 6 white
Bruce.
kangaroos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different.
Bruce, Shane,
Oh,
Jack.
do you know what? It might just be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it becomes
Scott,
kangaroos.
Charlene.
Yeah, wouldn't that be wonderful? And obviously Kylie, the great Kylie Minogue, gave us one of the greatest Christmas albums ever.
Did.
Right.
You know, and covered Santa Baby by Eartha Kitt, which is the OG version of Santa Baby, but hers is also awesome.
Can I just say, the Miley Cyrus version of that song is really good.
It is really good. But Miley Cyrus is incredibly
Oh, yeah, she's
talented.
a babe.
Yeah.
When you said Eartha Kitt, all I can think of is, didn't she do the voice for Yzma from Emperor's New Groove?
Oh my God,
what
yes.
a
she
legend.
did. What a legend.
That woman is my idol.
I adore Eartha Kitt in ways I can't. actually
Emperor's
describe.
New Groove is one of the most underrated Disney
Thank
films
you.
ever made.
Wrong lever! Okay.
Yes. Yes, I love it. Don't make a live action version, Disney.
And she was Catwoman.
And she was
yes,
Catwoman.
of course.
And she was the main Catwoman. You know, she was fantastic. Well, Eartha Kitt, she's just fantastic.
That's what Christmas is all about.
I love Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Kitt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing
yeah.
baddies.
Eartha Kitt.
Okay, so quantum mechanics. So in quantum mechanics, the Heisenberg uncertainty principle tells us that we know one variable well. We cannot know the other one exactly. We know what speed Santa would be traveling, but not his position. Thanks to quantum physics, inherent unavoidable weirdness, visiting every home in one night may be possible. It just requires Santa be a superposition of quantum states. In other words, a collection of Santas diffused all across the planet. Once we know Santa obeys quantum rules rather than physical ones, it makes a lot more sense why we've never seen him in person. If a child happened to spot him on his mission, the uncertainty principle would no longer apply. You would know his exact position, which would cause the quantum state to collapse, and no more presents could be distributed. Hence
said
why
this.
you could only see your mum.
So what we're saying is that Santa is shifting states into Mrs. Aritone.
Very possible.
Possibly. Yeah.
Wow.
You never considered that, did you?
No, I didn't.
No. got
He's a
deal
shapeshifter.
in the fact, Steph.
Wow, what's that woman from X-Men? Is it
Oh,
blue one?
Mystique, the shapeshifter?
Yeah, is Mystique Santa?
No, because she's one person. We're talking about a superstate,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
superposition, and he's everywhere.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
And you can see Mystique in one variant or another. You can't see Santa.
But you can with the red suit and the.
But that's just a representation of him, Steph. That's not.
Oh, okay. It's a caricature.
I'll refer you back to the quantum mechanics.
Do all of your little bits link back together, or are they separate conspiracy
Let's not
theories?
worry about the details. Let's just focus on the facts.
But it's not really a conspiracy theory when we're just saying the truth. Like, you know, I understand why Santa's being maligned, but he does exist and he does these things.
Sometimes this podcast is more of a service than entertainment.
Right.
Yeah.
So really, it shouldn't be called the conspiracy theory podcast. It should
This
be
is
the truth
conspiracy-
podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
Except, you know, claiming the truth, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's only called that to get around YouTube parameters.
Yeah. You're
YouTube
allowed
can
to
be
peddle conspiracy theory.
well, YouTube can be so mean to, like, we have to be very, very careful.
Yeah.
So, like, we don't go as hard as we'd like.
Oh wow.
Well, I don't go as hard as I'd like because I actually quite like that our podcast is reaching people.
And if we did go into a platform where we could do, we wouldn't want to be on that platform. Trust me.
Yeah. No. Good point.
Yeah, there's a balance,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But
So cosmology, we know Santa exists from one simple reason: we can see him. Right. Granted, he's not exactly how the festive ads show him. For one thing, he's a couple of 100 trillion square kilometers big. Also, he's something like 2 billion degrees in temperature, which at least explains why he spends so much time hanging around the North Pole.
see,
The man needs to cool down. On that note, those cottages at the North Pole and Lapland must be vacation homes because it turns out Santa's natural habitat is actually the southwest corner of Orion Nebula.
Wait. Why is he now Martian?
Because he's an entity, so he exists. This is in the quantum realm, Steph. Look,
God.
I mean, if you understand quantum physics, it's really clear. But
Yeah.
like, you know,
listen. I mean,
read a book,
yeah,
Steph.
come on, Steph. If you hadn't read up on quantum physics before you came, what the fuck were you doing with your time?
Oh
this
my
week?
goodness!
I did physics at A level. Granted, not quantum physics, but this is.
I did A-level biology.
Did you?
It's not really the same thing. I did GCSE physics.
I think we all had to do that, didn't we?
Yeah.
No, not my school.
Oh.
No,
Really?
Shoes, yeah,
Island.
yeah. I went
Well,
to-
I don't think, GCSE,
I loved
I can't quite grasp the quantum mechanics of what's occurring. So did Einstein believe in Santa?
Obviously, he based his look
Probably.
on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
He did, didn't he?
Fair
And
point.
also, interesting thing about Einstein, he wore the same clothes every day. Not the exact same physical ones, but like he just had one outfit, and that's what he wore. So he wouldn't have to.
No fucking about.
So he wouldn't have to waste time thinking about what he was going to wear.
Doesn't Jeff Bezos do the same thing?
Might do, but Bruce Banner, you know, the Incredible Hulk. I don't know about the movies because the movies are so much unfun actually. But in the comic books, the reason he always has purple pants when he transforms into the Hulk is because Bruce Banner does that as well. He always had the same outfit.
Wow, okay. So when Santa is morphing into other people, he's trying to keep consistent behind that
Yeah.
image. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
He may not be in the form that you thought he is, but he understands good branding.
So he's everywhere all at once in everyone.
Yeah. For 31 hours. Specifically.
Wow, okay.
So, archaeology. You know Santa wasn't always Santa. He used to be just a regular Joe from a town which is called Demre now, but used to be called Myra. That is now in Turkey. So this is going to what George was talking about earlier, found in the body. He may have been born around 17,000 years ago. Sorry, 1,700 years ago. But there's a bit of a difference there. But we have more than just centuries old stories to support his existence, thanks to the morbid traditions of the Orthodox and Catholic churches. There are quite a few bits of bodies around the world that people claim to have come from the real life St. Nick. But one of them, a piece of pelvis found in the Catholic Church in Illinois, may be the real deal. Many relics we study turn out to date to a period somewhat later than the historic iteration would suggest. The bone fragment, in contrast, suggests that we could possibly be looking at the remains from St. Nicholas himself. But I found this before George showed me that story about the fact they were
But the
found in
tomb doesn't
Turkey.
necessarily mean that there's a body in it.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
true. That's
So,
true. So this piece of him may be real.
And reliquary, having bits of a saint was a really big deal, like 1,000 years ago. And so like people, once there were just bones, got spliced up and given out to people.
Yep.
It seems weird now, but it wasn't then.
Do we have any detail on this pelvis bone and why it must be Santa's?
So you might point out that having this his skeleton living in a church on the outskirts of Chicago is more of an argument against Santa's existence, but consider this, nearly 500,000 hip replacements are performed every year in the United States alone, and most are on people aged 60 plus. St. Nick, according to a tradition, is over 1,750 years old, so it's not surprising in the least that the old fella might have a bit of pelvis removed at some point.
Okay, so he's going through these pelvi. Is that the plural of pelvis?
Yeah.
Like a good 5 times a year by this point.
I imagine his health insurance is through the roof.
Well, with what the job that he does, I'm sure he gets good benefits.
Yeah, I would hope so.
And he can always ask himself.
I am glad it's not on the NHS though, because that is a hell of a strain.
But who's paying him? Because obviously with the Tooth Fairy, it's quite clear where the money chain is located. It's under the pillow. She's getting paid direct.
Well, I have an answer for this, and I thought everyone kind of knew this. So Saint Nick knows who's naughty and who's nice, and he, knowing who's naughty, he would have a stranglehold over most of the world's governments.
Oh yeah, that's embarrassing. I should have known that. Yeah.
So
Also, an enormous amount of data, and as you know, Steph, data is valuable these days.
Yeah, and it's consistent and going back hundreds of years.
Yeah,
Wait. In what system is it located? Because obviously computers didn't exist.
Data system.
The list. The list is data.
Yeah, the list.
Raw data.
Yeah. And he's already sort of quantum entanglement and all that, so it could be like a quantum computer before we even knew what computers were.
Yeah.
So like that's high science.
Yeah.
I'd love to see his filing system. Like, I love an Excel spreadsheet, you know me.
Oh.
I think he's old school in his record system.
Bet he's organised.
Yeah, he's very organised. You'd have to
man.
You'd have to be.
He's methodical.
He's got to carry that book around with him as well. Remember that. So
he must be ripped, because this is like thousands and thousands of data entries and years.
Yeah, he's primed for this job.
Yep.
This
is his only job, Steph.
That's fair.
And again,
and he's been doing it for hundreds of years, so he does it well.
Yeah. He's not just.
Are you both now believing in Santa?
He's not just on the course here, Steph. Listen, we're just putting the facts out there. You can make a decision. We're not going to judge that decision much. We're just putting the facts out there.
I think it's obvious what the choice is.
Yeah.
I mean, you've made some very, very good points. You threw me with the quantum physics. My brain started getting scrambled, and now I'm thinking about how organised this fella is.
Yep.
He's the perfect man, really.
Yep. It's quite an intense job, though.
Apart from the Sally Lockett debacle.
Yeah.
But maybe he was just negging me.
Or there was a lesson there to be learned. Like
I still haven't learned it, Dave.
Well, I don't understand why I didn't get all the Barbies that I asked for. I just wanted one.
But now look how many you have.
I have so many.
I don't think he brings you absolutely everything you want. He brings you a thing you want.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about the Matrix earlier.
Yeah.
And it's like the Oracle. She doesn't tell you the future. She tells you what you need to hear.
Yeah.
And I think Santa very much falls into that.
Okay.
A
life lesson to be learned.
A life lesson. And that's truly what's important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like we said, brings more than just presents, Steph.
Yeah.
Silence.
So, philosophy. If Santa doesn't exist, that means there's a huge conspiracy that's being willfully upheld by billions of people across the globe. Parents lying to their children, hundreds of movies being made about the same imaginary man. Even NORAD is engaged with this gigantic lie surrounding a jolly fat man who gives presents on Christmas, which, when you put it like that, isn't even that unbelievable a premise. And to what end? All good conspiracies have an end goal. The CIA didn't pretend vampires were real just for fun. After all, they did it to stop the commies. What would be the point of postal workers across the world accepting mail to a mythical person and sometimes even delivering replies? What gain would researchers and news organisations get for controverting their scientific and journalistic ethics every year?
What gain?
Yeah.
That feel-good endorphin.
It would be a big old waste of time if he doesn't exist.
But why does anyone do anything in the world just to feel happy, right? And to see the joy on a child's face when you lie to them into their eyeballs.
Look,
that's what they do it for.
Look, if Santa's not real, then everybody's pants would be on fire.
Mm-hmm.
and I don't see anybody burning trousers or pants
Yeah,
anywhere.
again, science. You can prove a lot of stuff with science, Steph.
Don't use my own argument against me. Cold hard facts, okay? Stick to the sensory
Hard facts.
cold hard facts. I mean, what else? Like, what else would people gain from peddling this? All of the presents that you get every year.
Well, this means, right, that every single parent across the whole world would have to be in on this.
Yeah.
And not only that, they'd have to be lying for years to multiple children in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
They would also have to be purchasing the presents themselves, wrapping them every year,
Yeah.
placing them so this is every parent is going to have to go through this process. Do we really think that's conceivable?
There's parents are busy.
Somebody would break somewhere.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Not all parents are good. Parents, I'm not saying they're bad parents, but
And the guilt they would
The
feel.
guilt, exactly. How do they sleep at night?
Yeah, I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be able to lie to my kid. Santa must be real. Oh my God, this is a roller coaster of emotions.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Santa's real.
This is why we present the facts, Steph. This is why we present the facts.
Beautiful.
Yeah. This is where the philosophical principle known as Occam's razor comes into play. In simple terms, this is the idea that we shouldn't make things more complicated than they need to be to explain something. For instance, you flip the light switch and the light turns on. What's more likely to be true, that you flipping the light switch turned it on, or that you flipping the switch set off a small alarm inside the wall, waking up a dormouse who runs up to the ceiling and opens a tiny chemistry lab, dons a tiny white coat and starts mixing luminol with substances which he then funnels down to the bulb in the light, thus illuminating the room.
Oh, is that what the dormice do?
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped listening after the light switch comes on, the light goes on. And I was like, yes, that is true. The end. And then you started talking about a dormouse and I was like, no, closed.
Look, this is just this is a scientific example, Steph. Sorry, a philosophical example, I should say.
You keep using that word doesn't make it true, Phil. It's scientific.
Quantum physics is hard to understand, Steph.
My little noggin.
Listen, we both got tiny noggins. This man's got the big one, and he came up with this idea before I even mentioned it.
Big Irish head. I'm so amazed that this hat fits. My head is just disproportionately big. It's my people.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell who's an Irishman when you look at their skeletons because it's the one with the really big skull. It's our species.
It's all the conspiracy theories just buzzing around.
No, I really do have a huge head.
No, Dude just has a huge head.
So does Oprah Winfrey, and the reason she has a huge head, she's got Irish heritage.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah,
It's all traced back.
yeah, she's got a huge head for one.
Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I remembered that's my
Scientific facts, Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my introduction to the idea of the big Irish head. That was my introduction to the big Irish head. That and Colin Meaney from Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, because he's got a big Irish head.
Mm-hmm.
My boyfriend has a big Irish head.
See, it's just a thing. I've got a big
Heavy as well.
Yeah, like we have big head.
Wear your boyfriend's head.
It's just like when he's like lying on me, I'm just like crushed.
Oh, what's
a big
this?
head.
Yeah.
Someone's such a pile of bricks on your shoulder.
I don't know. Maybe gravity affects it differently, or I don't know. Something's going on there, but it's dense. Not like in
I think you need to read up on the science. Like
the science. Hashtag
Yeah,
science.
Hashtag science. Okay, so the theory that Santa Claus does not exist to some is supported by logistical impossibilities, a lack of empirical evidence, and the historical evolution of the character, but to many debunked by the belief of millions of children worldwide and simple quantum physics. Whether you believe in Santa or not, his spirit of generosity and joy endures in the hearts of those who celebrate Christmas. Santa remains an important cultural symbol, reminding us of the magic of giving and the power of shared traditions.
It's beautiful.
It is.
I know. So, Steph, does Santa exist?
I got to say, I don't think my parents could have lied to me for that long.
Yep.
And I do believe he's an amorphous, shape-shifting, quantum physics, hashtag science being, and that he exists in all of us and that he spreads joy rather than gifts. I do believe he exists in some shape or form. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah. That's why she's here, to spread that kind of cheer.
We'll get some mulled
Santa-
wine.
Oh, I love some mulled wine. Yeah, but Santa,
Yeah, we should have had
Santa
that in the
exists.
mix.
Of course he does. Of course he does. Like, I can't even believe we spent a whole episode discussing this.
It has been a waste of time because we knew this wasn't true in the first place. It's ludicrous that he wouldn't exist. It's ludicrous to think that there are billions of parents all over the world that are in on this. It's somebody would have had to break. It's a ludicrous conspiracy.
Exactly.
As we know, the physics supports.
Yeah, quantum physics. That's
Quantum
right.
physics, basic quantum physics, Steph.
Simple quantum physics.
Simple quantum physics
Of course.
supports this theory. Okay, so we're all in agreement that Santa does exist.
Santa exists.
George? Yeah, he thumbs up from George as well. And he doesn't believe in many of this shit.
No.
Sometimes he just switches off. I won't lie to you, Steph. Steph, would you like to look into this camera, tell people where they can find you, follow you, anything else you'd like to promote?
Yeah, so you can find me on mainly Instagram at Steph Comedy Wine List, where I pair wines to comedians, both in live shows and on a podcast that I need to get you both on when it starts.
Yes, I love wine.
Oh,
Hang on, are we allowed to come on?
I think so.
Okay. It's your
No,
podcast.
yeah. I run the live shows with an all-female feminist wine bar cast, but
Yeah.
the podcast, I'm game with everyone.
Cool.
And as male comedians, we could turn around and say, we can identify as women if you'd let us on. So we're like, we're obligated to say that.
I identify as wine, so that
There you go.
helps.
Oh my God, you'd be perfect.
Exactly.
I need to pair a box wine with someone soon.
Okay. Would you like a Santa joke to end the podcast?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What do you call a kid who doesn't believe in Santa?
A heathen.
A rebel without a clause.
Cute.
That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, I
That's
like
all right. A little round of applause from Steph. That's the end of the podcast. That's the end of this series. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you soon. Bye!
Please like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. The more lovely subscribers we get, the more episodes we'll make. And follow us on Instagram and TikTok for regular updates and exclusive videos at Believe Conspiracy Pod. We love you. Bye!